Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm May, and today I'm sharing some of my favorite vegan finds. I was originally going to do my 5 favorite vegan finds, but I could not narrow it down to just 5, so I ended up with 15. I'm just going to jump into it right now though because my groceries are here already. There are some brands here where I love multiple products from that brand, and I'll kind of touch on that as I'm going through. I'll just start in no particular order other than how they're arranged on the counter. So coconut whip topping. This particular coconut whip topping from Galee tastes almost exactly like regular whip topping and really behaves the same as like a full dairy pressurized whip topping. I use it on things like, pudding or jello, even my morning smoothies. And there are some people in our family that kind of hate coconut actually, and they do not even really notice the taste of coconut. It's kind of there, but so minor that even people who don't like coconut like this. This Baecel vegan margarine was a huge game changer for me when I transitioned from regular baking into dairy-free baking. I've never had an issue with this margarine behaving any way other than butter normally behaves, like in my cooking, in my baking. Like I've had no issues with it at all. It comes in a container like this, the 907 gram, and also a smaller one that's like closer to a pound. I always buy the big one when I can get it, but yeah, I use this in literally everything that I would normally use butter, and I've never had any issues with it. It's fantastic. This is kind of funny because I am not usually a fan of, buying a thing to replace meat specifically. And I don't really use a lot of recipes that include things like this, so this is just your typical like soy-based ground beef replacement. And it really looks like ground beef there too. The only thing I use this for, but what I love to use it for, is making vegan shepherd's pie. I love shepherd's pie, and it was definitely one of the few things I kind of missed from eating meat. Anyway, this works really, really well in there. It is a little pre-seasoned, like there's some onion and garlic in it, but you can still jazz it up however you want, and it doesn't become like overly seasoned. So I do like this a lot as a base. I know some people use it in tacos, other people use it like in lasagna or spaghetti sauce and things like that. For me, there are just like other like vegetables and stuff I can use to replace those things, but nothing else works in shepherd's pie. So this is the hit for shepherd's pie. I absolutely love this. And this Tofudi cream cheese is also kind of funny because I originally bought it to replace traditional cream cheese on a bagel. And now I hardly ever use it for bagels. Lately what I've been doing with it is baking with it. When I discovered that it behaves this like pretty much the same as like traditional dairy cream cheese, that's when I started experimenting with it more and using it in different recipes where I would normally use cream cheese. My favorite thing to do with it is to make like a tangy cream cheese like icing drizzle to put over cinnamon buns and things like that. It works really, really well. And obviously it comes like this, not in a brick, so it's a little bit harder to measure, but if you just got your food scale, it's not really that big a deal. Okay, Sol Cuisine. They make tofu and burgers and like falafels, meatballs, all kinds of things like that. Up until this brand, I really prefer to make all that stuff myself. These burgers are so good. It's chickpea sweet potato. They're totally gluten-free too, which is like this, for example, is not totally gluten-free. It does have some wheat in it. These are completely gluten-free. Richard and I have them in place of traditional burgers every week when we do burger night. And the ingredients in them are all non-GMO. I'll actually show you. There are only a couple of things in here that I would not put in like my own kitchen. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that. And they taste so good, and they're not mushy. They have a really great texture to them, so we love those. This is another from the same brand actually, same as the cream cheese, which I think is the only double on the counter right now. So my kids are dairy free because they're lactose intolerant, and one of them really hates tofu. I guess 2 of them really hate tofu, but the biggest tofu hater absolutely loves these so much. They're really tiny. They're about half the size of a regular ice cream sandwich. But yeah, they're really, really good. And she loves them. We've been eating these for years, even before we transitioned to fully dairy-free, just because she loved them so much. Oh, and they come in chocolate and vanilla. And I have not seen the mint chocolate chip in Canada, but I know they have the mint chocolate chip stateside because we used to buy them down there all the time. This is another like relatively new addition to our kitchen since we went fully dairy free. This yogurt is available in a variety of flavors. I love all the ones that I have tried. The vanilla one I use in baking and also just to eat. And I also put it in my smoothies. And then the plain one, I also buy this big and I use a lot of the time in place of sour cream, both like in recipes and also alongside recipes. They also make some berry flavors in smaller containers that are really good just for snacking on and also using in recipes. Silk is our go-to for non-dairy milks. I have 2 out here and another one in the fridge. I always get the dark chocolate almond milk, the unsweetened cashew milk, and also the unsweetened almond milk. Everyone drinks the dark chocolate almond milk just as like a snack. It almost tastes very desserty. Nutritionally, it's pretty good. Gloss over the 18 grams of sugar per cup, but the vitamin content is pretty good, especially considering how many things are sugary. So anyway, the kids love this. Chris and I love this as well. It's a good kind of like something sweet in the afternoon. And then the cashew milk I use to replace thicker milks, like more like a cream replacement. And then the regular plain like unsweetened almond milk I use just in place of milk in most things. Link is my absolute favorite vitamin powder and I use it literally every day. There are 4 different like flavors / blends. So the chocolate flavor is called Invincible and it's more of like a multivitamin. There's an unflavored one called Empowered that's kind of similar. Then there's a mango peach one called Butte, and that one is more about like biotin and things like that, like for hair, skin, nails. And then there's one called Genius, it's a berry flavor, and that has omegas and it's like another sort of like multivitamin. I use them in smoothies obviously, but I also sneak them into baked goods all the time. So cakes and cookies and like everything that I bake will get a hit of usually Empowered, which is the non-flavored one, and that I also cook with a lot. So I'll put that in sauces and I put it in literally everything and we all get that extra vitamin boost. And then again, I put them in my smoothies too and they're so good. This brand, I feel like people either love it or hate it. I also feel like it depends when you tried it because definitely these shreds are way different than they were when I first tried them years ago. So this brand has a lot of really fun gluten-free vegan junk food. So we get their pizza, which comes in I think 5 different like kinds of pizza, like from, you know, cheese lovers, meat lovers, supreme, veggie, whatever. So yeah, we buy those. They also make frozen burritos that are so good, like 3 or 4 different flavors of those too. They've got yogurt now, like cute flavored yogurt, like almost like the Chobani stuff where you can, you know, like put the crunchy bits in, but also they all make yogurt in tubs like this too. Frankly, I prefer the Riviera to the Daiya yogurt, but this cheese is so good. They have cheese sticks and cheese slices. Oh, and they also have a cream cheese similar to this in consistency, but they're flavored. So they have like a herby cream cheese, like that sort of thing. But I use these shreds on a lot of different things, usually just at the very, very end because they actually melt pretty well. I think the difference is these are now called cutting, like the cutting board collection shreds. So much better than the original version. And also like they have a lot of junk food, like a lot of ice cream and stuff that we love too. So we're a big fan of that brand. This is a relatively new brand to us. We discovered it through Organic Garage, which is a grocery store in Toronto where actually a lot of this came from, not everything. And I'll put those things in the description. Loblaws, the Great Canadian Superstore, and Organic Garage, and sometimes Longo's is where I usually get this stuff. Anyway, so this brand we found through Organic Garage. So good, like really honestly straight up tastes like the chocolate pudding that you might be missing. I mean, I even like the chocolate pudding that we make now with a lot of other like weird vegan ingredients, I guess, but this is really good. Chris likes this, especially if he's up late and just wants something a little bit sweet, and then you pair these guys together. Anyway, these are really good. I'll show you the details on them if you'd like. So it's kind of, I thought this was kind of funny. I was not expecting that riboflavin in this pudding, but anyway, I do love that it's gluten-free and dairy-free because those are both Chris's problems. That way he can kind of have something a little bit sweet. Okay, 3 things left. This is, oh, also I should mention, Link is a Canadian company based in Montreal, started by a couple of moms who, it says kid approved up here, who really wanted to find a way to add veggies to their kids' diets. So I think that was kind of a win, that it was like local, like not super local to me because I'm not in Quebec, but pretty local and Canadian. This is another Canadian company, which is why I remembered to mention about that. Also female owned as far as I know too. These are all, she has a whole line of cashew based vegan cheeses. So there's this, unbelievable. There's also an artichoke one, a garlic one, a blue cheese, a red rind. I think there's 5. Anyway, this one, the red rind and the artichoke are my absolute favorite, and I just discovered they started making butter, which I haven't really got my hands on quite yet because it's still fairly new, but what I love about these, so they're done traditionally like wedges, obviously. So a lot of people buy them and just like put them on a cheese tray and serve them with crackers, which is fine. I've even put them on, you know, like toast or a bagel or whatever, and that's good. But they're so good when you cook with them too, because they really melt in well to whatever it is you're doing. Like I have done, I put them on tacos like as a topping, and then they melt just a little. I've also done macaroni and cheese with them. I've done macaroni and cheese with more than one flavor of them, which is really good. If you check out their Instagram, there are tons of different ideas, and we're always coming up with new ideas to use them around here too. So good. And they're totally organic as well, so that's really nice. I mean, obviously you can make your own cashew cheese, like it's not that hard, but the different flavors they have and how easy it is, like I also love that they're available at local stores now. I know that in Toronto you can get them at Longo's and at Organic Garage. Oh, and at the food hall in Saks. I always forget the name of it, but anyway, you can get them there too. I'm sure other places, but that's what I know for sure. So delicious, dairy-free. If you're dairy-free, then you're, I'm sure, familiar with this brand. They do a lot of non-dairy milks, but really they've cornered the market on ice creamy treats. This oat-based ice cream is actually pretty new to us because they just started carrying it at Organic Garage, but I guess it's been around for a little while, we just haven't discovered it. So this oat-based one is absolutely amazing. Also, the kids are big fans of the cashew milk ice cream, particularly the caramel one. There's also like a banana version. Anyway, there's tons of different so delicious dairy-free ice cream bars as well, and like just cute little ice cream confections and stuff, and then these little containers. Big hit. I mean, the only downside is that they're so small. Like I would pay more for them to come in a big tub, like the kind that we all grew up in with like the regular dairy. I would love for them to come in a tub that big, but they don't. Like you can only get them tiny, which is fine. I'll buy them tiny because we love them so much. But yeah, that new oat milk ice cream, so good. And then finally, tofu. So as I've said, this brand makes tofu that we've tried and liked. There's a handful of other brands of tofu that we've tried and liked, but this particular brand of tofu, I have found it almost everywhere that we shop. Today I got it from Organic Garage. I know I have got it like at a lot of different places. Go Java is that like overnight grocery delivery service. They carry it as well. I really like it, especially the firm tofu. Doesn't have too much water. I never have to press anything out. Like I can literally just cut this and start using it right away without having to press it. And pretty much any other firm or extra firm tofu, you still have to press out. So. And then I just use it as I would any other firm tofu. And there are, are tons of recipes that you can find. Even on my website, it has a lot of them. But you can hit Pinterest and look for recipes. And there are tons of great recipes that make you not at all miss eating meat because there are so many fun things you can do with tofu. So those are my absolute faves. I will underline that a lot of this stuff came from Organic Garage. The Link vitamin powder, I know that you can get at the food hall at Saks, but I actually just have a subscription going with their website, and actually I'll put a code in the description and down here on the screen where you can save 10% off your order, because those ladies are amazing and they see me using it literally every day on Instagram. I post about it. But yeah, it's not too hard to make the transition if you're aware of all the fun things there are that you can do and avoid meat and dairy. I could easily do a second and maybe even a third installment of this video, so let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. And I will leave the 10% off code for Link vitamin powder in the description. This video is not sponsored. I just love their stuff so much. And I'll also leave some links for where you can find that, and also some of these other items. If you don't see them at your local store, hopefully I can kind of point you in the right direction. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, show some support, and if you're new here and you like these casual videos about food and homemaking and crafts and things like that, subscribe to my channel for new updates and hit the bell so you don't miss any. Thanks guys, bye!